Deep within America's sprawling woodlands, there are places where the trees whisper secrets older than the nation itself, and the darkness between them hides more than just shadows. What if I told you that in one forest, over 2,000 people claim to have seen a creature that just shouldn't exist? A creature with wings like a bat, a head like a horse, and a scream that echoes through the densest, most ancient trees. This isn't just folklore. For some, it's a terrifying, lived reality. We're about to journey into the heart of these lost woods, where the line between the known and the unexplainable blurs into something truly chilling. Welcome, as we explore America's most feared woodlands. These aren't your idyllic nature trails, not the sun-dappled groves you'd imagine for a peaceful walk. No, these are the forests that inspire a deep-seated dread in local memory, places where real-life paranormal encounters, unsettling disappearances, and generations of chilling legends all intertwine. From the shadowed depths of the New Jersey Pine Barrens to the cursed earth of Connecticut's Dudleytown, these are the epicenters of things that just can't be explained. Tonight, we're investigating these claims, sifting through the folklore, the historical accounts, and the first-hand testimonies, trying to understand what makes these lost forests so terrifying. Why are these woods so feared? What really lurks within their suffocating embrace? And how much of what we hear is merely legend, and how much might be terrifyingly real? The American landscape, so vast and untamed in many corners, has always been fertile ground for stories of the strange and the sinister. Before the concrete jungles rose, there were only the primeval forests, ancient and filled with a power that both awed and terrified early settlers and indigenous populations. It's in these shadowed realms that many of America's darkest legends were born, tales of grotesque creatures, vengeful spirits, and curses that cling to the land like a shroud. Our mission, then, is to venture, if only in spirit and through harrowing accounts, into the heart of these locations. We'll look at the history that birthed these fears, explore the most compelling legends, and confront the paranormal encounters that keep their terrifying reputations alive. This isn't about debunking or blind belief. It's about exploring the persistent, chilling grip these forests have on us. We want to understand why, even in our modern, tech-savvy world, these ancient woods can still stir up such profound, primal fear. Think about the sheer scale. Millions of acres of dense, often impenetrable wilderness. Places where you can easily get turned around, where the familiar rules of civilization just don't apply. It's in this isolation, this vulnerability, that the seeds of unease are sown. And when you add a history stained with tragedy, unexplained disappearances, or generations of sightings of things that defy logical explanation, you've got the perfect recipe for terror. Let us begin with a name that sends shivers down the spines of anyone who knows its lore: the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Spanning over 1 million acres across southern New Jersey, the Pine Barrens are a sprawling wilderness of pitch pines, oaks, and cedar swamps. It's a place of stark, sandy soil and tea-colored rivers, a landscape that feels ancient, almost otherworldly. And for nearly 3 centuries, it's been known as the home of America's most infamous cryptid, the Jersey Devil. The legend, in its most common form, goes all the way back to 1735. A woman known as Mother Leeds, already struggling with 12 children and living in poverty, is said to have cursed her 13th unborn child, crying out in desperation that she wanted the devil to take it. The child, so the stories go, was born a monster, with leathery, bat-like wings, the head of a horse or a goat, cloven hooves, and a terrifying, blood-curdling scream. They say it unfurled its wings, thrashed about the room, and then shot up the chimney, vanishing into the desolate wilderness of the Pine Barrens. Since that fateful night, the Jersey Devil has become a cornerstone of American folklore. Over 2,000 sightings have been reported through the centuries. And these aren't just fleeting glimpses in the dark. Witnesses have included ordinary folks, farmers, hikers, even police officers, and well-known community members. They describe a creature that stalks the woods, kills livestock, and leaves behind unidentifiable tracks and a heavy sense of dread. The sheer persistence of the Jersey Devil legend is astounding. In January 1909, a week-long wave of sightings across the Delaware Valley caused widespread panic. Newspapers were filled with accounts of the creature. Schools closed, and workers stayed home, terrified of an encounter. Tracks were found in snow across multiple states, baffling investigators. Some claimed to have seen it flying. Others heard its unearthly cries. There were even reports of it attacking a trolley car and a social club. This period of intense activity truly cemented the Jersey Devil's place not just in local lore, but in the national consciousness. But the Pine Barrens aren't just home to the Jersey Devil. This vast, often desolate landscape seems to have collected other spectral residents. There are tales of the Black Dog of the Pines, a ghostly canine said to be a harbinger of death. The spirit of Dr. James Still, a respected African-American herbalist known as the Black Doctor of the Pines, is said to wander the woods, perhaps still tending to those who seek him. And legends of Captain Kidd's buried treasure, guarded by his headless ghost, add another layer of intrigue and fear to these already foreboding woods. Beyond the supernatural, the Pine Barrens whisper tales of real-life human tragedy. Ghost towns like Weymouth and Belkaville, once bustling iron and glass-making communities, now stand as decaying monuments to failed industry and forgotten lives. These ruins, slowly being reclaimed by the relentless forest, carry an inherent sadness. Stories of robberies and murders, like the ambush and killing of the Ryder family, whose patriarch Henry Ryder is now said to haunt the spot of his demise, add a grim, factual basis to the forest's unsettling reputation. The very atmosphere of the Pine Barrens contributes to its mystique. The sandy soil, the dense thickets, the winding, dark water streams. It's an easy place to get lost, a place where sounds carry strangely, and the shadows play tricks on your eyes. Even without the legends, there's an undeniable eeriness to this unique ecosystem. But with them, it transforms into what many consider the most haunted forest in the United States. Pineland's Adventures even offers guided hikes focusing on this rich folklore, a testament to its enduring power. And if you look online today, you'll find recent videos and forum discussions with people sharing alleged modern encounters or strange occurrences in the region, keeping the legend very much alive. What is it about the Pine Barrens that allows such a terrifying legend to persist for so long? Is it the isolation, the unique, somewhat alien landscape? Or is there something more, something truly unexplainable, that continues to make its presence known in these woods, terrifying those who venture too deep? Leaving the haunted sands of the Pine Barrens, our investigation now takes us across the country, to other woodlands steeped in fear and mystery. Each forest has its own unique brand of terror, its own dark history, and its own cast of characters that allegedly defy explanation. Out west, in the arid landscape of Arizona, stand the Superstition Mountains. Their very name, inspired by Pima Indian legends, hints at the mystery and danger they hold. These rugged, imposing mountains are synonymous with one of America's most tantalizing and deadly legends, the Lost Dutchman's Gold Mine. The story, a complex web of folklore, speculation, and some historical fact, revolves around a German immigrant named Jacob Waltz, often mistakenly called the Dutchman. In the late 19th century, Waltz supposedly discovered an incredibly rich gold mine hidden deep within the treacherous terrain of the Superstitions. He was said to have worked the mine in secret, occasionally showing up in Phoenix with saddlebags full of high-grade gold ore, only to vanish back into the mountains. On his deathbed in 1891, Waltz allegedly revealed the mine's location to a neighbor, Julia Thomas, but his directions were vague, his clues cryptic. Since then, countless treasure hunters have poured into the Superstition Mountains, obsessed with finding the Dutchman's lost fortune. Few have found anything but hardship, and many have met with tragedy. The mountains are unforgiving, a labyrinth of canyons, cliffs, and desert heat with precious little water for most of the year. But the dangers aren't just natural. The search for the mine is littered with stories of betrayal, mysterious deaths, and disappearances. Some prospectors have ventured into the wilderness only to vanish without a trace. Others have been found dead under suspicious circumstances, their demise chalked up to accidents, foul play by rival hunters, or, as some whisper, something far more sinister. It's said that more than 30 people have died searching for this elusive gold. Native American tribes, including the Apache and Pima, have long held these mountains as sacred and dangerous ground. Apache legends speak of the thunder god who guards the gold, and some believe the area is a gateway to the underworld. They warned against disturbing the mountains, and tales are plentiful of Apache warriors protecting their sacred sites from encroaching prospectors, sometimes violently. The Peralta family of Mexico, who supposedly worked rich mines in the Superstitions in the 1840s before being massacred by Apaches, adds another bloody layer to the legend. The site of this alleged slaughter is known today as the massacre grounds. The evidence for the mine often comes in the form of tantalizing but unverifiable maps, coded messages, and deathbed confessions. The psychological toll on those who dedicate their lives to the search can be immense, breeding paranoia and obsession. The Superstition Mountain Lost Dutchman Museum stands today as a testament to this legend's enduring power, collecting artifacts and stories related to the mine and the mountains. Even now, events like the Dutch Hunter Rendezvous keep the search alive, blending historical inquiry with a persistent, perhaps even irrational, hope. Modern articles still try to untangle fact from fiction, noting that while Jacob Waltz was real, the specifics of his find are shrouded in mystery. Some present-day searchers claim to have found gold, though not the motherlode, and recount their own unsettling experiences in the mountains, from eerie silences to feeling watched, and even alleged encounters with UFOs or ghostly apparitions. Is the curse of the lost Dutchman's mine real? Or is it a manifestation of greed, obsession, and the inherent dangers of a truly wild place? The mountains keep their secrets, and the gold, if it exists, remains lost, luring new generations into its deadly embrace. Interestingly, even as the Park Service announces construction advisories for the area, they also issue warnings. Due to safety concerns, walk-in entry and hiker drop-offs are not permitted in Lost Dutchman State Park, adding another layer of caution to this legendary landscape. We now journey northeast, to a region infamous in paranormal circles, the Freetown Fall River State Forest in Massachusetts. This woodland lies within the notorious Bridgewater Triangle, an area of roughly 200 square miles in southeastern Massachusetts, said to be a hotbed for an incredible variety of paranormal goings-on. If the Pine Barrens are home to one iconic monster, the Freetown Fall River State Forest is more like a convergence point for all manner of high strangeness. The forest itself has a dark and blood-soaked history. Native American legends speak of puckwedgies, small, troll-like or impish creatures known for their mischievous and sometimes malicious behavior, like harassing people, luring them off paths, and even allegedly kidnapping them. These beings are said to inhabit the swamps and rocky areas of the forest. The land was also a site of conflict during King Philip's War in the 17th century, a brutal conflict between English colonists and Native American tribes. Some believe the violence and displacement of the Wampanoag people left a lasting scar on the land, contributing to its negative energy. Profile Rock, a natural formation that once resembled a human face, some said it was Wampanoag Sachem Massasoit, though that's debated, was a significant landmark before its collapse in 2019. The spirit of Massasoit's son, Metacom, King Philip, is also said to haunt the area. Beyond ancient legends, Freetown Fall River State Forest has a more modern and chilling reputation for violent crime and occult activity. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, the area gained notoriety due to a series of gruesome murders, some linked to alleged satanic cults. The discovery of human remains, tales of animal sacrifice, and rumors of dark rituals being performed deep within the woods really solidified the forest's image as a place of profound evil. For instance, in November 1978, the body of 15-year-old Mary Lou Arruda, abducted 2 months prior, was found tied to a tree in the forest. Other murders and assaults have also been linked to the forest over the years. These documented crimes lend a terrifying, tangible reality to the sinister atmosphere. Visitors and paranormal investigators report a wide spectrum of unsettling experiences. UFO sightings are commonly reported in and around the Bridgewater Triangle, with strange lights seen maneuvering in the night sky. Ghostly apparitions, disembodied voices, and unexplained noises echo through the trees. There are areas, like the Ledge, also known as the Assonet Ledge, a former granite quarry, that are particularly infamous. This site has been associated with suicides and accidents, further darkening its reputation. People often report feeling an intense sense of dread, disorientation, or of being watched while in the forest. The forest isn't just a place of folklore. It's actively used for recreation, including hiking, mountain biking, with events like the Freetown 50 MTB and horseback riding. Yet, its grim reputation persists. Even official information about the forest sometimes acknowledges its nefarious associations within the Bridgewater Triangle. The sheer density of disturbing phenomena reported here is what makes Freetown Fall River State Forest so uniquely terrifying. It's as if the veil between worlds is unusually thin here, allowing all sorts of strange and frightening things to bleed through. Is it the weight of its history, the alleged occult activities, or some unknown terrestrial or even extraterrestrial influence that makes this forest such a paranormal hotspot? Ongoing reports suggest that whatever haunts these woods is far from dormant. And it's strange to see discussions about digital equity plans for the town of Freetown right alongside continued recreational use, highlighting how everyday life bumps up against this deep-seated paranormal lore. Our next descent into darkness takes us to the unsettling quiet of northwestern Connecticut, to a place known as Dudleytown. It's not so much a forest that's haunted, but rather the ghostly remnants of a village swallowed by one, a place steeped in tales of curses, madness, and unexplained tragedy. Often called the Village of the Damned, Dudleytown's story is a chilling example of how a location can become so intertwined with misfortune that it's eventually abandoned to the shadows and the trees. Founded in the mid-1740s by several families, including Thomas Griffiths and, notably, the Dudley family, the settlement was built on a high, rocky hill, making farming tough from the get-go. The isolation was intense. According to legend, Dudleytown's woes began with a curse linked to Edmund Dudley, an English nobleman executed for treason against King Henry VII in 1510. The tale goes that a curse followed his lineage to America, settling upon this fledgling village. While historians have pretty much debunked a direct line between this Edmund Dudley and the Connecticut Dudleys, the story of a foundational curse has stuck to the village like glue. What's more historically verifiable is the string of misfortunes that plagued its residents. Stories are rampant of unusual deaths, widespread mental illness, suicides, and mysterious disappearances. Entire families are said to have fallen into madness or met untimely ends. One early settler reportedly went mad and wandered into the woods, never to be seen again. Another resident, Gershon Hollister, was said to have returned from a journey to find his entire family insane. There are tales of lightning strikes claiming lives, and of crops failing for no clear reason. People spoke of hearing unearthly sounds, seeing strange apparitions in the surrounding dark entry forest, and feeling an oppressive, malevolent atmosphere. Some visitors over the centuries reported a strange lack of wildlife during the day, except for the occasional hooting owl, adding to the eerie stillness. By the early 20th century, Dudleytown was largely abandoned, its homes decaying and its fields overgrown, the forest slowly reclaiming what humans had tried to tame. The tales of its tragic past, however, didn't fade. Instead, they grew, fueled by paranormal investigators and writers. Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous demonologists, investigated Dudleytown and declared it demonically afflicted, which really sealed its horrifying reputation. They reported strange feelings, unexplained phenomena, and backed up claims of demonic forces at play. Lorraine Warren specifically mentioned motorcycle gangs performing satanic rituals in the mountains around Dudleytown, possibly stirring up negative energies. Visitors who, often illegally, as the land is now privately owned and patrolled, venture near the ruins of Dudleytown report a range of unsettling experiences. Many describe an overwhelming sense of dread, sadness, or terror. Cold spots, disembodied voices, shadowy figures moving among the trees, and mysterious orbs of light appearing in photographs are common claims. Some even report being touched or scratched by unseen forces. One particularly common claim is the unnatural silence of the woods, a dead quiet that seems to swallow all sound. Skeptics offer more mundane explanations for Dudleytown's demise: poor land for farming, isolation, diseases, perhaps even lead-in water pipes contributing to illness, and what looked like madness. Still, the sheer volume and persistence of the paranormal claims are hard to dismiss entirely for those who look into its history. The narrative of a cursed village, whether rooted in supernatural reality or tragic coincidence amplified by folklore, has made Dudleytown a powerful symbol of desolation and lingering horror. The town remains off-limits, with Connecticut State Police warning against trespassing, which only seems to add to its mystique and the determination of some thrill-seekers to experience its chilling atmosphere firsthand. Even today, online discussions continue to debate the truth behind the legends, with people sharing personal, though often unverified, accounts of eerie experiences near the area. The forest surrounding Dudleytown, known as Dark Entry Forest, seems to have absorbed the village's sorrow and terror, becoming an integral part of its cursed identity. Is it the land itself that's tainted, or did the collective misery of its inhabitants leave an indelible psychic stain? The roll call of America's terrifying forests doesn't end there. Numerous other woodlands across the nation are whispered to be homes for the unexplained, each with its own unique flavor of fear. In North Carolina, there's a peculiar, unsettling place known as the Devil's Tramping Ground. Deep in the woods of Chatham County, it's a perfectly circular patch of barren earth, about 40 feet in diameter, where almost nothing grows. Legend claims the devil himself paces this circle at night, contemplating his mischief, and his fiery hooves scorch the earth, rendering it sterile. Animals reportedly refuse to cross it, and dogs will whimper and resist if forced near. Campers who've dared to spend the night there tell stories of objects being mysteriously moved, of hearing heavy footsteps circling their tents, and experiencing an overwhelming sense of dread or being watched. Attempts to plant vegetation or obstruct the path have supposedly failed, with plants dying and obstructions removed by an unseen force overnight. Scientific explanations range from soil sterility to natural salt licks, but the legend's grip remains firm, drawing paranormal enthusiasts and the curious to witness its unsettling emptiness. Documentaries often highlight its haunting atmosphere and the numerous eyewitness accounts of strange happenings. Then there is Old House Woods in Matthews County, Virginia. This stretch of woodland near the Chesapeake Bay is notorious for a bizarre and eclectic collection of ghostly phenomena. Named for a colonial-era house long since vanished, these woods are said to be haunted by phantom pirate ships gliding silently through the trees, perhaps linked to the infamous Blackbeard who frequented the nearby waters. Ghostly British and Spanish soldiers from centuries past are seen marching along old trails. Their spectral forms a chilling reminder of forgotten conflicts. Eerie lights, sometimes described as ghost lights or spook lights, dance among the trees or hover over the marshes, their origins unknown. And perhaps most unnervingly, headless dogs are reported to prowl the undergrowth, their silent passage more terrifying than any bark. Visitors frequently report unexplained sounds, sudden cold spots, and the unsettling feeling of not being alone. In Illinois, we find Robinson Woods, part of the Cook County Forest Preserves near Chicago. This area is built upon what's believed to be ancient Native American burial grounds, and the land was once home to Alexander Robinson, a chief of Potawatomi, Ottawa, and Chippewa heritage who is buried there with his family. The woods are said to be haunted by his spirit, as well as other Native American entities and members of the Robinson family. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly figures in 19th century attire, apparitions of Native Americans, sometimes on horseback, and hearing disembodied drumming, whispers, and chanting. Strange lights are also a common report. The presence of the family cemetery deep within the woods adds to the somber and eerie atmosphere, a place where the past feels palpably present. Even seemingly ordinary state forests can harbor dark secrets. Morgan-Monroe State Forest in Indiana is known for its rugged beauty, but also for haunting legends. Many visitors report disembodied voices, ghostly apparitions, and sudden, unexplained drops in temperature. Deep within this forest lies Steps Cemetery, a hotspot for much of the paranormal activity. Here, the ghost of a grieving mother, often called the Black Lady, is said to watch over the grave of her child, baby Lester. Campers and hikers have reported seeing shadowy figures lurking among the trees at night and experiencing an intense feeling of unease, particularly near the cemetery. These forests, and many others like them, seem to tap into our deepest anxieties about the unknown, the wilderness, and death itself. They are places where history, folklore, and personal experience collide to create landscapes of genuine terror. The evidence is almost always anecdotal: a strange sound, an inexplicable light, a fleeting figure, a profound feeling of dread. Yet, the consistency of these reports across different locations and generations is compelling. It speaks to a shared human experience when confronted with places that just feel wrong. In many of these locations, like the forests within the Bridgewater Triangle or the Pine Barrens, the tales aren't just old wives' stories. They're sometimes linked to documented true crime, missing persons cases, or disturbing historical events. This grounding in reality, however tenuous, gives the paranormal claims an added layer of credibility and horror. The knowledge that real people have suffered or vanished in these woods makes the ghostly tales all the more chilling. The very act of entering such a forest is often described as a descent. The light changes, sounds become muffled or amplified in strange ways, and the sense of being cut off from the safety of the known world grows with every step. It's in this heightened state of awareness, this vulnerability, that perhaps we become more attuned to whatever else might be there with us, lurking just beyond our senses, in the deep, dark, and terrifying heart of America's lost woods. Our journey through America's most terrifying forests has taken us from the haunts of legendary cryptids to the cursed grounds of abandoned villages, from mountains said to hide fortunes guarded by spirits to woodlands scarred by true crime and alleged occult rituals. We've explored the history, the folklore, and the chilling first-hand accounts that paint these locations as focal points for the unexplained. What ties these different places together? It's more than just trees and shadows. It's that potent combination of isolation, dark history, and the persistent human experience of encountering something that simply doesn't have an easy explanation. Each forest acts as a canvas for our deepest fears, but also, perhaps, as a window into phenomena that lie beyond our current understanding. The peak experience in many of these stories isn't always some dramatic, Hollywood-style confrontation. Often, it's a build-up of subtle, unsettling things, that persistent feeling of being watched reaching an unbearable intensity, a disembodied voice that speaks with chilling clarity, or a fleeting glimpse of something so out of place, so utterly wrong, that it shatters your sense of reality. In Dudleytown, it might be the overwhelming, unnatural silence that finally breaks a visitor's nerve. In the Pine Barrens, it could be that unmistakable, terrifying scream attributed to the Jersey Devil echoing just a bit too close for comfort. In Freetown Fall River State Forest, it might be stumbling upon a site that feels palpably charged with negative energy, a place where you just know rituals may have occurred. As investigators, or even for those of us exploring these stories from a safe distance, leaving such a place often brings a complex mix of relief and lingering unease. You leave the oppressive atmosphere of the trees, but the questions, the unsettling images, and the chilling possibilities, they often follow you out. Across these varied woodlands, we've seen recurring themes, enduring legends. Creatures like the Jersey Devil and Pukwudgies aren't just old tales, they're active parts of local awareness, with alleged sightings and encounters still reported today. Cursed grounds. Places like the Superstition Mountains and Dudleytown carry reputations for misfortune, where tragedy seems to cling to the very soil, and going in is seen as tempting fate. True crime intersection. The Freetown Fall River State Forest and the Pine Barrens show how real-world violence and unsolved mysteries can amplify paranormal claims, blurring the lines between human evil and supernatural malevolence. Consistent paranormal reports across multiple locations: Old House Woods, Robinson Woods, Devil's Tramping Ground, We hear similar accounts of ghostly apparitions, unexplained lights and sounds, and profound feelings of dread, suggesting common threads in how these things are experienced or perceived. The power of place, the unique, often isolating and disorienting nature of these forests themselves plays a huge role. The dense tree cover, the swamps, the rugged terrain. These environments can heighten the senses and create a vulnerability that makes paranormal interpretations more likely, or perhaps makes us more receptive to genuine, subtle phenomena. Research and ongoing online buzz show that these legends are far from fading. Instead, they're adapting, finding new audiences through social media and forums, and continuing to draw thrill seekers, investigators, and the simply curious. Even the scientific phenomenon of ghost forests created by climate change lends a new, literal meaning to dying woodlands with a haunting appearance, though these are, of course, different from the supernaturally charged locations we've focused on. Did our journey blur the line between folklore and reality? Absolutely. That line is often far more porous than we like to admit. Many of these legends are born from a kernel of truth, a misidentified animal, an unexplained natural event, a forgotten tragedy, which then grows over generations, embroidered by fear and fascination. Yet, the sheer volume of consistent, independent testimonies in some of these locations pushes back against easy dismissal. When multiple, credible individuals report similar unexplained experiences in the same place over long periods, it forces us to ask, are they all mistaken? Are they all just giving into suggestion? Or are these forests truly home to something beyond what our science can currently explain? The mystery of these lost woods endures precisely because there are no definitive answers. We're left with unsettling questions. What is the true nature of the creatures and entities reported in these forests? Are they misidentifications, psychological projections, or something genuinely unknown? Can intense human emotion and tragedy leave an imprint on a location, a kind of psychic residue that sensitive individuals can pick up on? How much of the fear these places generate is inherent to the wildness of the environment itself, tapping into primal human anxieties about the dark and the unknown? And if there are indeed unexplained forces at work, what are their origins and what are their intentions? These forests stand as silent sentinels, guarding their secrets. They remind us that despite all our advancements, there are still corners of the world that remain profoundly mysterious, deeply unsettling, and genuinely terrifying. They challenge our understanding of reality and whisper that perhaps, just perhaps, the world is far stranger and more populated than our everyday experience suggests. The tales of the Jersey Devil, the curse of Dudleytown, the spectral miners of the Superstitions, and the countless entities in Freetown are more than just ghost stories. They are an integral part of America's hidden folklore, a darker, more unsettling counterpoint to the narrative of progress and enlightenment. They speak to a primal fear, a respect for the unknown, and the enduring power of place to shape our beliefs and our nightmares. What do you think? Have you ever had an unsettling experience in a forest, a feeling of being watched, or encountered something you couldn't explain? Share your own stories, theories, or which of these terrifying forests you find the most chilling in the comments below. Your experiences and insights are a huge part of keeping this investigation into the unknown going. And if you found yourself captivated by this journey into America's most terrifying woodlands, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have many more mysteries to explore, many more shadows to peer into. Don't miss out on future expeditions into the heart of the unexplained. The lost woods of America will continue to whisper their chilling tales, luring the brave, the curious, and perhaps the unfortunate into their depths. They're a stark reminder that some mysteries aren't meant to be easily solved, and that fear, in its most primal form, often finds its truest home in the wild, untamed places where the light fades and the ancient darkness reigns. Whether born of folklore, human tragedy, or something else entirely, the terror these forests evoke is undeniably real to those who have felt its cold touch. And as long as there are shadows between the trees, there will be stories of what lurks within them.